Bryce Wasserman. Number 22, Jack Welding. Number 25, Nathan Bean. Number 37, Tim Barnhart. Number 42, Charlie Campione. And number 43, Casey Wasserman. Southlake is coached by head coach Bart Sullivan, assistant coaches Mark Lynch, Nick Malthus, and Delon. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please stand as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
And we're back. THSLL Super Regional action. Southlake versus Anderson. Our second game here in the Super Regionals here at Dragon Stadium, Southlake, Carroll, Texas. Connor Harriman, first face-off, wins it. Dispossessed, though. Number 41, Blake Taylor for Anderson, regains possession, moves the ball over the top. Number 23, Murphy Wood, quality senior, LSM. Looking to get the ball in the box. Little box fake, little whammy. Number 42, Rodrigo Rodriguez. We're going to have fun with that one. Right over there to Ben Rinke, the senior. Talented offensive player. Little pick behind. Looks to go inside roll. Nice defense there by sophomore Nathan Beam. Number 27, Bryce Roberts. Little invert action on Scott Dickey. Shovels it across. Luke Milliken, headsy play by the freshman goalie. Now looks to clear the ball for the first time.
Luke Milliken on the ground ball.
They lock everyone off, and Luke Milliken brings the ball upfield. He runs the fast break over to Bryce Wasserman. One more to Casey Wasserman. Wasserman to Wasserman.
Southlake goal,
Casey Wasserman from his older brother.
Casey Wasserman, assisted by number 9, Bryce Wasserman.
For the first goal of the game. Good job right there by Luke Milliken.
Anderson 0.
In transition, bringing the ball upfield, running the fast break, all position, no position over here in Southlake.
Rodriguez for face-off.
And here's Harriman winning the second faceoff.
Harriman wins the face-off.
Moves the ball to Michael Cox, who carries the ball down. Little nicely executed fast break there. Wasserman was carrying across, made the through look to his younger brother for the goal. Southlake now with their first real possession. Michael Cox beats his man topside. Big save there by number 0, Casey Root, sophomore. Wasserman goes offside on the ride. We're here bringing you THSLL coverage of the North District Super Regionals here at Dragon Stadium. It's our first man up, man down of the game, offsides on number 9,
Green,
Bryce Wasserman.
offsides.
That's a penalty you don't know if you'd like to see your guys take early on. Not really much there. The clear was pretty much going to happen at that point.
Bryce Wasserman on the penalty. Anderson's man up. 30
Anderson's
seconds.
man up. Nice little play there by Donnell.
Turnover, Anderson.
Dragons looking to clear the ball up over to Milliken. Milliken does a good job of using the crease to his advantage. He's an athlete. Carries. Looks to Scott Dickey. Scott Dickey moves the ball up to Bryce Wasserman. They're out. Over to Wasserman. Down to Vanden Dysel. Bryce guarded now by a short stick. He's got him hung. He's going to push the left side. Turns the corner. Sticks it. Wasserman. Bryce Wasserman. Making plays early on.
Bryce Wasserman, unassisted.
Picking up where he left off against the St. Mark's
9 minutes left in
Lions.
the first quarter. Your score now, Southlake 2, Anderson 0.
2-0. Southlake up on Anderson here quickly in our second game. In our first game, Kingwood defeated a tough Bowie squad 13-10.
Harriman board,
The winner of that game, Kingwood, now plays Dallas Jesuit tomorrow. The winner of this game plays the Woodlands Highlanders, the number 1 seed out of the South District.
Harriman gets face-off.
Harriman wins the face-off. Carries down the lefty alley. Needs to get a touch. He's guarded by Murphy Wood. Murphy Wood, massive, talented player. Here's Scott Dickey being guarded by a short stick. A little shimmy. Draws a slide. Moves the ball through X to Timmy Barnhart. Timmy Barnhart splits to his left. Moves the ball to another Dragon. Barnhart now with the ball at X. They look to push out on him. To Wasserman over the top. Wasserman with a little whammy. Moves it over the top to Harriman. A little shallow cut. Follow. Over to Casey Wasserman. Casey Wasserman looks to turn the corner. Box fake. Moves it through X to Barnhart. Turnover.
Ball out of bounds. Southlake
Anderson ball. Anderson now with a possession. Really their first possession. Bryce Roberts carrying it in to number 14, Foster Allen. Foster Allen, all-state out of the Central District. Moves the ball over to 44, Chris Oliver. Chris Oliver over to number 8, Ben Rinke. Rinke, another talented player, guarded by Nathan Beam. Shot and save there by Luke Milliken. Here's Jack Welding on Foster Allen. Beam extends on Rinke. Over to Foster Allen. Deflected. Ball on the ground. Beam picks it up. Milliken now looking to clear it.
Ground ball number 25.
Scott Dickey Trips over a line. But they find DeBello. Easy out. Now they got a little bit of transition. But they're just willing to settle it. Get a touch. Scott Dickey here. A little shimmy. Bounces. Draws a slide. Moves the ball through X to Timmy Barnhart. Timmy Barnhart whips it back to the other way. Over to Bryce Wasserman. Being guarded up top by a long stick. Wasserman leans on his man. Doesn't move his feet. Dispossessed. Nice little check there. And now he gets the ground ball. Push in the back. Ref. Oh, man. That's a good job moving the ball to the backside. But the ball's turned over.
Out of bounds. Turnover, Southlake.
Here's Anderson clearing the ball. Move the ball to number 15, who's not on our roster. Number 14, Foster Allen, has the ball. Foster Allen to 27, Bryce Roberts. Dispossessed there by Dickey. Dickey carries and pushes transition.
Turnover.
All the way to the rack. Head up to Wasserman. Casey Wasserman with the shot there. Probably could have composed himself, moved the goalie, and finished. Let it go pretty quick. Tim Barnhart dispossessed behind. Ball's kicked out by Southlake. And here's Anderson clearing the ball up. Number 41, Blake Taylor, senior midi, looking to leg it all the way up. He's going to need to share the ball here. He runs through everybody. Just kidding. He's fine. Blake Taylor, big athlete. Anderson, though, not really concerned with possessing the ball here early. It's 5-14. Just been throwing the rock around. Here's Luke Milliken again bringing the ball up the field. They're locking off everybody. I'm not sure if they understand how good of an athlete Luke Milliken is. Nice little late hit there. Southlake's offsides. Here's Kenny Lear on ball on Murphy Wood. Jack Welding here on Foster Allen. Bryce Roberts with the ball. Over to Foster Allen. Allen moves the ball behind to number 44, Chris Oliver. Anderson settling into their first possession of the game. Second possession. Haven't had much possession time. Ben Rinke with a shot in the goal. Not much to that one. Carried above goal line, extended, kind of let it go. A little bounce shot got between Milliken's leg. 2-1. 4:26 left in the first quarter. We're live bringing you THSLO coverage here, the North District Super Regional second game. Southlake versus Anderson. Winner of this game gets a chance to play the Woodlands, the number 1 seed out of Houston. Earlier we saw Bowie take on Kingwood. Kingwood won that one. Here's Connor Harriman winning it forward. Gets to the next level. Sticks it. Connor Harriman, one of the elite face-off guys in the state, heading to Bellarmine University next year. Won the ball forward. Defensively, they made a play on the ball, on the stick. He ran right through the check, got to the next level, moved the goalie, finished. Going to have to do a better job staying in front of Harriman. Harriman wins another one. Nice little job by the wing play there. But Harriman's still able. Oh, broken stick, going to need to get off the field to Wasserman. Laser. Harriman to Wasserman. Bryce Wasserman.
Scored by number 9, Bryce Wasserman. Assisted by number 7, Connor Harriman.
Looks like Anderson's going to take a timeout with 4:08 left in the first quarter. That's pretty tough there. Anderson finally was able to get onto the scoring page.
Now taken on the field.
But it's a game of runs, and Southlake is explosive, especially in transition with Wasserman and Harriman, both Division I commits. Harriman's heading to Bellarmine University, D1, and Wasserman to Monmouth. 4:08 left. Nice little transition. Several of the goals here so far by Southlake have been made in transition. While we're bringing you live coverage of this game, we're also getting updates across the state in the LSA. Texas State is up early and often on Texas A&M. Earlier on in the Austin Super Regional at the Division I level, we saw, what did we see? We saw Highland Park defeat Kincaid. It was either 10 or 11-3. If you've got any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to tweet at us at StickStarLax. We'll be bringing you coverage of the second season all season long. Our coverage started off Tuesday, where we watched the Southlake Carroll Dragons take on the St. Mark's Lions, the defending state champs. Southlake was down early on by a ton, came back, won the game with 8 seconds left. Bryce Wasserman with a laser to punch their ticket to a home game here. Nice little face-off there. Nicely done. Second season coverage continues tomorrow with the second Super Regional games. The winner of the last game is going to be taking on Dallas Jesuit. That's Kingwood. Kingwood versus Jesuit tomorrow. And then the winner of this game, that's Cox getting to a tough spot on the field. There's a force.
Cox. Shot by Michael Cox. Saved by Casey Root.
Casey Root with a nice save. And then the winner of this game will take on the Woodlands Highlanders. So that's the second day of our Super Regional coverage. Here's Foster Allen, guarded by the talented sophomore, all-state sophomore, Jack Welding, headed to Maryland. Nice little play there by Nathan Beam on Ben Rinke, another talented sophomore here for Southlake. Southlake right now has a senior down low. At close, here's Dean DeBello, another talented sophomore. Murphy Wood gaining ground, though. He spills it to Bryce Wasserman. Gets to the right, bounces, needs to possess here. Moves the ball. AJ Vandendysel communicating for that guy to get through. Winds up, looks to get to the next level. Vandendysel, a freshman. Here's Tim Barnhart leaning, gets inside. Again, spinning, duck, dive, dodge, duck, dive. The 5 Ds of dodging.
By Tim Barnhart. Goes wide.
Misses it. Here's Casey Wasserman with the ball. Southlake dominating time of possession here in the first quarter. Here's Dean DeBello over the top, telling Bryce Wasserman to get out of the way. DeBello taking it underneath, a little invert. Now looks to reinitiate. He wants to get it right in that spot. Looks to bounce, draws a slide. They recover. Now needs to move the ball with purpose to the backside. He does. Moves the ball to Wasserman. Southlake needs another guy. Oh, my. But how did he get there, sir? They say push in the back. That won't count.
Yeah, the grace call.
Anderson looks to clear the ball now. Nice little play there by Timmy Barnhart. He throws it at the goalie's feet.
Barnhart on the shot.
Here's Wasserman with the quick restart. Getting to the middle, head up. Here's Cox dodging down the alley.
Turnover, Southlake.
Anderson looking to clear the ball now. That's another force right there by Southlake. Now they look to play defense. Brody Donnell down low. Here's Beam on a nice hedge on that pick. They look to move the ball through X. Brody Donnell there again. Matched up on number 44, Chris Oliver. Chris Oliver moves the ball over to Foster Allen. Allen has been kind of neutralized so far by Jack Welding, the talented sophomore commit heading to Maryland. Nice little play there. But just like that, we say it, and Foster Allen gets a shot. Luke Milliken now picks it up. But that's the end of the that's the end of the first quarter. Quickly, that quarter comes to an end. 4-1. 4-1. The Little Dragons are up here in the second season. Tremendous venue for lacrosse here in the great state. We have the Woodlands looking on, taking in the sights of who they will have the opportunity to compete against tomorrow. I'm Anthony Crimmins, Stickstar Lacrosse, owner-operator, resident Lax Whisperer, bringing you this live coverage here. We're pretty excited about it. Tomorrow, also super regional action. Winner of this game taking on the Highlanders. Let's break down the super regional here. We've got it updated. In the South, Highland Park advancing over Kincaid 11-3. Bowie dropped their game to Kingwood 13-10. So now Highland Park takes on Westlake. Winner of the ESD Austin High game is going to be taking on Strake Jesuit out of Houston. And then we covered the games up here. A little bit later, we'll break down the all-state, all-district rankings. Those just came out now at the end of the year. Talk about some of the guys who we thought got left off, maybe could have deserved a shot at the title. But it's tough to get. Not everybody gets the award. While all of this is going on, we're also paying attention to the South District and the LSA tournament. So we'll also keep you posted on scores, news, and highlights from everything going on in the Kingdom of Lacrosse, the worldwide Kingdom of Lacrosse. Here's Harriman with another draw and a win. ESD up by 2 on Austin High. 4-0. ESD is up at the end of the first quarter. Getting this intel from my mother, Helen Crimmins, veritable lax guru as well. Ooh, Connor Harriman, noisy. Lefty. That's a good finish.
Number 7, Connor Harriman, unassisted. White, 4-2/1 minute.
Ooh, that's a penalty on Anderson. Hoop and the harm. Count it. And just like that, Southlake has opened up a sizable lead, 5-1, 11:36 here in the second quarter. Q2. Ooh, Texas State up on Texas A&M, 9-0 with 1:45 left in the first quarter. That's a lot of buckets early on in that one. Here's Bryce Wasserman with the ball. Man up adventure here. Got a little wheel look. Tim Barnhart draws that man. One more. They got it. Anderson does a good job of rotating. Wasserman dispossessed. But they get it back. Southlake continues to take care of the ball. They're still man up. Dickey to Wasserman. Wasserman to Barnhart, who lets it go from way downtown. Here's Wasserman off the end line. Has the ball, no slide. Inside roll at 3 yards. Flag down. Oh, dipsy-do, Dunkaroo time. Oh, man. Dickey, great look there by Wasserman.
Right, 2, 3, push. Technical foul, 30 seconds.
Technical foul, 30 seconds. A push with possession. Southlake is going to go man up once again.
Southlake has possession. Now man up.
Southlake does have possession, and they are on man up. Scott Dickey over to Barnhart. Barnhart to Wasserman. Wasserman to Wasserman. Wasserman to Wasserman. They push up. Cox from 15.
Michael Cox on the shot. Southlake.
Little fake flip chicanery here. Little whammy to Harriman. Harriman from 15 lets it go, and the penalty expires.
Shot taken by Connor Harriman.
9:42 left here in the second quarter. Southlake up 5-1. THSLL Super Regional. We've got too many rocks on the field. Get that out of there, ref. Is that a Noxie stamped official regulated ball? Noxie stamped lacrosse balls. That's another topic for another day. Here's Wasserman initiating at X. Moves the ball up to Cox. Over to DeBello. DeBello carries the middle. DeBello over to Wasserman. Wasserman to X to Barnhart. Back over to Casey Wasserman. Looks again underneath. Rolls back. Moves the ball to Cox. Cox down the alley. Cox needs to bounce and possess. Cox scrapping for it on the ground. Hold against Anderson. Anderson not getting any love from the refs right now. Vanadiesel to Wasserman. Wasserman laser.
Nice Wasserman with the shot for Southlake. Goes by. Southlake maintains possession.
Southlake maintains possession. Timmy Barnhart initiating at X. They throw the double at him. Moves the ball over the top to DeBello. DeBello carries. Moves the ball to Cox. Cox moving down the alley. Nice save there by Casey Root, the sophomore for Anderson.
Cox. Shot for Southlake.
5-1. Tons of possession time here. DeBello dispossessed. DeBello dispossessed by number 27, Bryce Roberts. Bryce Roberts, pretty good player, carrying down lefty. Moves the ball over the top here to number 42, Rodrigo Rodriguez. Look at this nice little double here. Stay right, stay left. Beam needs to execute that a little bit better. He's guarding Ben Rinke, senior, all district from the Central District. Nathan Beam needs some help. They show a little bit from that adjacent man. Oh my, that was a tasty little play. Ben Rinke with the second, the senior. Tasty. That sounds good. I'll have that. Turns the corner righty.
Unassisted. 8:01 left in the second quarter.
8:01 left in the second quarter. Southlake up 5-2. Super Regional, THSLO Super Regional, Southlake, Carroll, Dragon Stadium.
Rodriguez face off.
Home of
Harriman gets a face off.
Southlake Carroll football, a tradition unlike any other. They're building another tradition though here in Southlake, little lax tradition, under the guidance of Coach Bart Sullivan. Zach Kurzweil, coach for Anderson. Tim Barnhart pushes the backside. Over to Scott Dickey. Extended cradle, bounces. Moves the ball over the top to Wasserman. Wasserman to Harriman. Harriman has the alley. Anderson already ready to slide. Already ready. Tim Barnhart says, get out of my way. I want this guy up here on the island. Backs him down. Dispossessed, though. The ball's going Anderson's way. Southlake not getting too much in the settled offense. Done most of their damage in transition. Still up 5-2, 6:55 here left in the second quarter. Here's Foster Allen, guarded by Jack Welding. If Southlake sees an opportunity to double, they're going to go ahead and throw that double at the ball. Here's Rinke again, guarded by Nathan Beam. Senior Ben Rinke, quality player. Here's Foster Allen, guarded by Jack Welding. Little shimmy. Jack Welding's feet are pretty good. Going to be tough to run by that guy. They move the ball to number 15, who's not on our roster. We'll see if he's on our other roster. Here's Bryce Roberts. Gets inside. Goes a little crosshand. It's not there, though. Moves it to Jack Welding. Southlake now looks to clear the ball the right way. Welding over to Milliken. This is where they lock everybody else other than Milliken, and then they're going to have somebody come over here at the last second. Got to make sure that everybody's on side. Here's Chuck. Compagnon. They got it. Milliken. Oh, they're on sides. Nicely done. Here's Milliken again. Oh, little box fake. Oh, man, it didn't get through. But it did get through. It didn't. It did, but it didn't. Oh, Bryce Wasserman, garbage all day. Wasserman quickly with a hat trick here in the first half. Unassisted. Pretty nice play by the freshman goalie to come down, throw the box fake, and then throw the skip look. Although it didn't get through, it's a pretty good concept. And you don't see many face-off guys doing that. That's a great look out there for you young face-off guys who are paying attention, all 500 of you who are dialed into our broadcast today. If you win it forward a lot, you can either throw it to the draw or the point man. But if you want a nice little adjustment, go ahead and throw that box fake and take a look at the skip lane. Little flip there. Oh, sniper fire. Kid dropped. Nathan Beam, nice double. Great double there, actually. Ben Rinke wasn't in the play, so Beam just went ahead and got in the double. There's getting to a bad spot on the field, number 41, Blake Taylor. But Anderson is able to regain the possession. Foster Allen guarded right now by Kenny Lear. Foster Allen finally shakes free of Jack Welding. They move it inside to Murphy Wood. They move it to the backside. That's a pretty good job right there. Good ball movement to Chris Oliver from Bryce Roberts. Got to feel good when you're ahead of the PA announcer on that goal reporting. 6-3, Southlake up on Anderson, 4:47 left here in the second quarter. Wasserman's doing a good job so far. 4 goals between the two of them. That's Harriman winning that faceoff. Goes ahead and just throws it with the back of his stick. Nifty little play. And just like that, I've won the race to nifty. Here's Michael Cox with the ball. Cox moves the ball over to Bryce Wasserman. Bryce Wasserman telling Dean to please get out of the way, sir. Here, you have a short stick. Initiate from there. DeBello dodges, rolls back, gets a shot, draws the penalty, and the Dragons will go man up.
White 1-5/1 minute.
White 1-5/1 minute. And the Dragons will go man up. Way we've gotten here so far, Anderson doing a pretty good job. Ben Rinke has gotten 2, initiating one-on-one, turning the corner. No slide on Nathan Beam. Here we go. Little wheel action on man up. They got him. If they keep pushing it, move it through X. Wasserman looks for the skip to Casey Wasserman. Wasserman to Wasserman.
Southlake goal. Number 43, Casey Wasserman. Assisted by number 9, Bryce Wasserman. 3:55 left in the second.
Bryce Wasserman, senior. Casey Wasserman, freshman,
Anderson 3.
handing the Wasserman title off to his younger brother at the end of this year. And then there's another legendary Wasserman in the 7th grade ranks, Drew Wasserman. My goodness. The Wasserman tribe is strong. Just like that, I just won the race to just like that. That was my first just like that of the game. Third just like that of the game. Only 3, though. That's pretty good. I don't think I've had any you-knows, though. Self-deprecating humor here on the Stickstar broadcast. Southlake going man up again. Going to be tough for Anderson to battle back if they keep going man down. Another action at the half. Dallas is up 59-54 against San Antonio. Good guys. Skip pass right there. We've got all kinds of scores for you. Oh, little fake flip. Wasserman has it to Wasserman. Which Wasserman? We're doing the fake Wasserman flip over to Barnhart. Extended cradle. Needs to just move the ball. Nothing there. Cox over to Harriman. Harriman over to Wasserman. Harriman to Cox to Barnhart. Gets to the middle. Doesn't like it. Man up's over. Man's behind you. They could have just picked up a slash right there if they really wanted to, but refs kept the oh, here's Casey Wasserman. Has a shorty. Likes this matchup. Looks to beat his man topside. Oh, just like that. Oh, my. Wasserman to who? Wasserman. Might as well. Bryce Wasserman.
Number 9, Bryce Wasserman. Assisted by number 43, Casey Wasserman.
The Wasserman family is having a day right now. Let's see how many Wasserman points there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, we'll do it again.
Harriman.
9 points for the Wassermans today in the first half. Here's Harriman. There's a lot of Wasserman and Harriman. A lot of buckets going on between the two of them. Here's Dickey. Scott Dickey carrying. Oh, man, just like that. That's my 4th one. We'll take it. But they scored, so Dickey unassisted. 9-3, 2:43 left. Might be time for another timeout. 9-3, Southlake up. Winner of this game, taking on the Woodlands. Woodlands, tough squad, number 1 seed out of Houston. All of their middies, attackmen, and defense and goalie were all state. That's pretty much unbelievable. You ever seen anything like that? Man, I ain't even heard of anything like that. That's a Tombstone reference for all you kiddos out there. Here is Southlake on possessing once again. 4-0 ESD up on Austin High at the end of the first quarter. Oh my. Murphy Wood. Ooh, nice little tip there. Nice little play. Number 48, Alex Barnes, making some plays out there for Southlake. Anderson looking to clear the ball. Bryce Roberts carrying the ball over. Here's Foster Allen, guarded by Jack Welding. Timeout, Anderson. 9-3, 1:25 left here in the second quarter. Anthony Crimmins, Stickstar Lacrosse, Austin Super Regional broadcast. brought to you live by us. Great lacrosse action today. Beautiful. 79 degrees was the reading on the temperature earlier. Brisk. Well, nice little breeze today. The flags are whipping and waving. Big games tomorrow. Winner of this game takes on the Woodlands, the 1 seed, and the winner of the last game is going to take on Jesuit. That's Kingwood. Kingwood versus Jesuit. We'll be here for both of them. Next weekend, we're going to head down to a little place we like to call Friendswood, Texas. Final Four action, D1, D2. We'll have both semifinals there, both semifinal games for D1 and D2, and then we'll bring you both championship games on Sunday. Pretty unbelievable. This will be our second year broadcasting, or at least being on the mic, the first year for Stickstar production. Pretty excited about it. Having a great time bringing the state of Texas and beyond this coverage of THSLL high school lacrosse action. Anthony Crimmins, if this is your first broadcast back since early on in our broadcast, you've noticed that I've dropped the beard and the mustache, and now I'm clean shaven with my summer attire on. The sun is warming up here, but right now we're back to live action of Anderson and Southlake. Oh, nice little inline play. Oh, but give me that, says Luke Milliken, the freshman. Luke Milliken not scared to stand on his head.
Saved by Luke Milliken.
And here we go. Let's clear everybody out. Please, Michael, get out of the way. I'd like to have some space. Moves the ball to Beam. Beam to Charlie Compagnon. Looks to draw and dump. Does. Right there to DeBello. DeBello beats his man top side. Nice little split. Lefty on the run. Can't find the back of the net, but a nice little move nonetheless. Tim Barnhart over here to Casey Wasserman. Across to DeBello again. They walk him down. DeBello has a short stick. Through to Barnhart. Barnhart to Dickey. Dickey winds up. Bounces. Moves the ball to Wasserman. Wasserman over to Barnhart. Barnhart gets in trouble. Tough spot on the field. Over to Dickey. Dickey with a nice little ground ball. There's Wasserman. Wasserman inside to... Oh, that was almost awesome.
Bryce Wasserman on the shot for Southlake.
Ooh, Dickey, noisy. Dickey with the second goal of the game with 5 seconds left here in the first half.
Scott Dickey. Assisted by number 37, Tim
Assisted by Timmy Barnhart. Number 37, but number 1 in our hearts.
Left for the second quarter. Score now, Southlake 10. Anderson
10-3 at the end of the first half. Lots of goals early and often here for Southlake. Anderson still trying to get off the bus a little bit. Haven't enjoyed too much possession. We've got a pretty nice little crowd here at Dragon Stadium. This place will be rocking here tomorrow. Here's Connor Harriman winning it forward. And that's it. That's the end of the first half. With the home Southlake Carroll Dragons up 10-3 over the visiting Austin Anderson Trojans.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank you for your
Been a pretty good half here for the Dragons at home.
Town Square today and tomorrow.
Let's talk about some all-district, all-state action. Got to pull it up here on the interweb. But we have that. We've got some technology here in the booth. For the North District Awards, All-State, at attack, Jack Fotigay, St. Mark's Jr., Nick Ruby, Capel, Senior, Richie Loftus, ESD Senior, Bryce Wasserman, who's here on the field having a day. Right now he's got 4 goals and 2 assists. That's 6 points in the first half. At midfield, you've got Lee Belland from Jesuit, Ben Dodson from Capel, Mackenzie Gordon from Plano West, Hugo Reisenbickler from HP, and Sam Romano from ESD. Down at close defense, Tom Huber from Jesuit, Foster Huggins, Cole Ogden, Jack Welding. Facing off, Riley Graham from St. Mark's, been a dominant player all year for the Lions. He was a dominant face-off threat. And then Drew Goethals and Charlie Sykes in cage and John Michael Pretty. Let's talk about where those kids are going. We'll go down the list here real quick. Nick Ruby, senior attackman. He's going to Air Force. Richie Loftus, senior attackman. He's going to Dartmouth. Bryce Washman, senior attackman. He's going to Monmouth. Foster Huggins, senior defenseman. He's going to Loyola. Jack Welding, sophomore, the only sophomore. He is heading to Maryland. John Michael Pretty, sophomore. Just kidding. Two sophomores made it. John Michael Pretty, sophomore from Jesuit. He's heading to Michigan. Lee Belland, midi from Jesuit. He's a senior. He's going to Lehigh. Ben Dodson, junior midi. He's going to Rutgers. And then Sam Romano from ESD, number 22. He's heading to Cuse, baby. Cuse and Notre Dame are playing for the ACC championship tomorrow. Small tidbit of information. At all district, at attack, Drew Barry from Allen, senior. He's heading to, where's he going? He's going to Rhodes. Jack Barry. This is a questionable all-state. This guy might be missing from the all-state roster. Jack Barry, probably one of the best at his craft in the state. I would say he's the best finisher, and he might be the best specialized player there in the state. Riley Graham, obviously talented at the face-off X, but Jack Barry's the best finisher in the state, so he may have been somebody that I would have liked to see get all-state. There's only so many spots, though. Gavin McClure from Jesuit, also all-district. Grayson Miller from Highland Park. At the midfield, you've got Connor Harriman from Southlake, all-district. Nakai Montgomery, the freshman, the only freshman on the page here. He was all-district as well. Landon Montgomery from St. Mark's. Jason Myers. Adam Reestes from Allen. Jason Myers from Jesuit. Then at close defense, Bryce Barnett from Plano West. Gab Gonsalves from ESD. J.P. Goyne from Capel. William Stowe from Highland Park. At the face-off X, Doak Lambert. DP Lambert, as we like to call him. And then Jonathan Faree and Connor Mullen. Interesting. Jonathan Faree and Connor Mullen, all district as well. And then Case Carpenter, the UNC commit. He's all district. He was all district behind the sophomore, John Michael Pretty, who's heading to Michigan, which is interesting. Believe that Case Carpenter was injured in that last Capel Highland Park game. We hope he has a speedy recovery. Tremendous player. Right now, in the South District, we're looking for the Central District Super Regional at Austin, or at Westwood. We're looking for some updates. It's still 4-0 at the end of the first quarter. We'll see if we can get anything out. 6-3, no. Texas State is up now 11-0, 10-23 in the second quarter over A&M. That's now 12-0. A lot of good lacrosse going on out there. Let's take a look at one of the other regions. We'll do the Central because the South District Awards are pretty hilarious. Because the Woodlands whole team is just the all-state selection pretty much. From the Central District, Foster Allen, number 14 here for Anderson. He was all-state, or is all-state. He's been limited so far by Jack Welding, the sophomore, headed to Maryland. Jeff Kiskiel, John O'Grady, Casey Schwartfager. Kishkiel from Cedar Park, O'Grady from Vandegrift, Schwartfager from Austin High. They're all-state out of the Central. At midfield, you've got Sean Angle from Cedar Park, Rule Ellis from Westlake, Matt Rockwell from Westlake, Wesley Sanders from Bowie, and Blake Taylor from Anderson, who's number 41 here. He's also been held in check. Wesley Sanders had a tough tough game last game against Kingwood, being held to 0 goals and 0 assists. At close, Lito Flanagan from Alamo Heights, Tim Jusko from Westlake, Ben Zook from Westlake, Reed Mershon from Westlake, All-State, Blake Tyndall, sophomore, committed to UNC from Vandergrift, All-State, Miller Regan from Westlake, and Connor Howden from Austin High, both All-State. LSM Murphy Wood from Anderson. We're seeing him right here. All-District, John Azar from Westlake, J.R. Booth, Augie Burkle. Augie Burkle had 1 goal, 5 assists versus Kingwood. Tremendous effort. Ben Rinke, we're seeing him right now with Anderson. He's got 2 goals, 2 of the 3 for Anderson. Evan Jansen from Westlake, defense. Cole Preuss, Reed Randolph, Jake Reinhardt from Bowie. At faceoff, Logan Masters. Cosmo Way in goal for St. Stephen's. Matthew Sheftel, he was in the last game, number 53. He's a talented player. Trey Foster, Craig Kemper, Austin Martin, Reed Salins, and Jason Wilhelm, all district. A lot of talented players here in the great state. We're watching one of them right now, Sean McCanna. Could use a haircut possibly. But you never know with Sean. He'll be playing tomorrow against the winner of this game, Woodlands, the number 1 seed out of the South, number 2 seed out of the South. That's Strake Jesuit. Strake Jesuit will play the winner of the Austin High ESD game. We're still waiting on some updates from that game. We'll ask for our field reporters to get in with us. Oh, now ESD 11-2 at the end of the first half per Ken Greenberg and Mr. Tran, our field reporters down there in Austin. Bryce Wasserman with some high fives for the fans. Connor Harriman also getting into the action. It's all about the children. It's all for the children here in Southlake. 10-3. The Dragons up. 1:26 left here in the halftime festivities. We didn't bring it to you, but the whole Southlake marching band was here performing. 10-minute performance. Just kidding. That didn't happen. Watching this game, too much Wasserman. Not enough time for Anderson. Anderson failing to possess early and often. Southlake getting a lot of what they want on the offensive side of the field. Defensively doing a pretty good job. Ben Rinke's really been the only person able to initiate on Nathan Beam. Beam kind of on an island right now. Could use some help, but Southlake's doing a pretty good job defensively, not giving up too much. Southlake converting in transition and on man up. 29 seconds left, and then we'll get rocking and rolling here. Excited about this second season coverage that we're bringing you here from Dragon Stadium. It's our 3rd game of the second season. First game was Southlake versus St. Mark's. Southlake was able to survive and advance after being down 5-1 in the second quarter. Game-winning goal with 8 seconds left by Bryce Wasserman. The senior would not be denied a trip to the next round. Here we go, second half action. Face-off. Ooh, bold strategy there. Aggressive. Dickey with the ground ball. Man on. Remember that when you run by somebody, they're behind you, but they pick up a convenient push in the back. That sounds good. We'll have that. Push in the back. Southlake going back on man up. If you were going to look at a way that you didn't want to start the third quarter, picking up an initial penalty was probably it. But, alas, they did. Southlake up. Wasserman to Wasserman. Ball side cut. Wasserman pushes Wasserman. Wasserman to Wasserman. Over the top to Harriman. Harriman to Cox. Cox to Barnhart. Lefty. Here's Dickey. Looking for that through look to Cox. Yes. 11-3. Cox from Dickey. Dickey now with 2 goals and an assist. That's Cox's first. 11-3. 11:22 left here in the second half.
Rodriguez and Harriman set the face off.
Harriman wins another one forward. Texas State now up 12-2 or 12-0 at the half over Texas A&M. As we said before, it's 11-2 ESD over Austin High. Here's DeBello carrying down the alley. Splits, gets back to the middle. Lets it go. He definitely went out of bounds, but it doesn't really matter because it was a shot. And here's Barnhart with the ball carrying up the left side. Question mark. Nice little save there by the keeper. Casey Root with the save. And here's Allen trying to get something going on the offensive side of the field. Rodriguez. Felt like Anderson hasn't had the ball in quite some time. Here's Ben Rinke, guarded by Nathan Beam. Nathan Beam on ball, guarding Ben Rinke. Ben Rinke looks to carry the middle. Gets to the middle. Nice shot. Turned away there by Luke Milliken. Beam needs to take away top side there. A little bit better.
Save by Luke Milliken.
Here's Bryce Roberts with the ball, guarded by Dean DeBello. Bryce Roberts with an invert. Move the ball over there to Foster Allen. Foster Allen over the top to Blake Taylor. Foster Allen going at it again. Surveying. Not really going at it too hard. Ben Rinke. Nice save there by Luke Milliken. Milliken, the freshman, all over it. Here they go. They lock everybody off. Here comes Milliken to run the break. He's not scared to do it. Draws. They bang it back. I would have liked to have seen that. It's all right. Good idea by Wasserman to say, "Hey, Luke, go ahead. Go get back in the crease. We'll take care of it from here." Here's Wasserman with the ball. Wasserman looking to carry down the alley. Moves it over to A.J. Vandendiesel. Little freshman. Whoop. Looking to get into the action. Deflection. Ground ball. And here is number 41, Blake Taylor, carrying with purpose. Michael Cox turning him back. Dispossessed. Nice little check there by Timmy Barnhart. Tick-tock. Got to get a touch here. Now they get a touch. Here's Beam on Rinke. Rinke has been really the only offensive threat to get a lot accomplished today. He's got 2 goals. Nice little double there. Beam still on Rinke. Rinke, senior, all-district. Here is number 14, Foster Allen, guarded by Jack Welding. Jack Welding doing a pretty good job holding the all-state junior attackman in check. And now they throw a double at the ball. ESD does a good job of sliding and recovering. Man open for a minute. Gets the ball. Shot. Sails wide. Jack Welding closing out on Foster Allen. Foster Allen happy to move the ball over the top. They get it back to Foster Allen. He's got to dodge. They throw a double at the ball and recover nicely. Here's a pick behind. A.J. Vanderdijssel on Bryce Roberts. Roberts looks to get underneath. They slide from the crease. They're inside out, make the defensive play, and here's Scott Dickey looking to carry the ball. Dickey can move in the open field. Applying a little pressure, spills the ball over to Washman. Washman carries. Head up, off the pipe. That's a good take.
Wasserman on the shot for Southlake. Saved by Casey Root.
That's right, that was a save by Casey Root. If you're a goalie and you're taking stats out there for yourself, understand that when the ball hits the pipe, that's a save. That's a shot on goal that didn't go in. Looks like it's offsides there by Anderson. Whistle ready. Michael Cox, just waiting for the ref whenever you want to blow it. Here's Casey Washman. Michael Cox carries underneath. He's going to go to the rack, and he gets one. A little bit of a screen there. That was pretty tough.
Southlake goalie. Number 8, Michael Cox. Unassisted. 6:10 left in the third quarter.
6:10 left in the third quarter. Southlake getting buckets of buckets. 12-3 up on Anderson.
He
12-3.
has face off. Wins the face off.
Southlake, another possession. Tons of possession time for Southlake. At some point, you got to think that they might start to get some new guys in there. Here's Wasserman just possessing the ball. All kinds of lacrosse taking place here all over the great state. Stickstar Lacrosse bringing you Stickstar Productions, THSLL Super Regional action. Second season action. This is our second game today. We'll have 2 for you tomorrow, and then we'll have 6 next weekend. Unprecedented coverage of the second season.
Southlake turnover.
Trying to increase the exposure of the sport in our state. Increase the exposure of all the players in our state through tremendous technology. Anderson back on offense. If you're trying to get an idea of what we're trying to do here, here's Bryce Roberts getting to a tough spot on the goal. Shot hits the pipe.
Bryce Roberts on the shot for Anderson.
We are trying to increase exposure for the sport, create awareness. We are trying to use technology to build the sport. If you'd like to, please join us in our effort. Retweet, share, comment, get the word out. There's not a lot of people doing this here in the state. In fact, there's nobody else doing this in the state other than us. Get underneath right there by Anderson, unable to finish. Milliken taking up a lot of space. Little procedure call there on Anderson, or on Southlake, mind you. Anderson now with the ball again. Foster Allen.
Possession. Anderson.
Lacrosse has never been played at such a high level here in the great state. This is the best that it's ever been. We're going to go ahead and say it. We've been watching it for a while. The depth of talent across the board is tremendous. So it's important for us to continue to grow that. And that's what we're going to do with this tremendous technology. Bring you all this action. Here's Luke Milliken, talented freshman. Moves the ball up to Jack Welding.
Southlake turnover.
Well, ref saw something across the field that he did not like. Number 7. At this point, Anderson taking lots of penalties. 12-3 here. 3:24 left. Super regional action. Southlake getting pretty much everything they could ask for right now.
3 in white, 7 in both unsportsmanlike, both 1 minute, both non-releasable.
Ooh, getting mixed up a little bit out there. It's all right. This is postseason lacrosse, so that's going to happen. Just going to go ahead and update the Twitter here. If you have any question, comments, or concerns, go ahead and reach out to us on Twitter at StickStarLax. 5-on-5 lacrosse. Foster Allen's first shot of the game. Here's Jiggy Jack Welding. Look at this kid move. They got a fast break here. If he runs it, he's going to run it. Right back to him. Draw and dump. Oh, good idea. Scott Dickey probably should have let that go. Oh, my. And that's another one.
Southlake goal. Number 3, Scott Dickey.
Scott Dickey with his third of the game.
Unassisted.
That's the hat trick.
4 now. Southlake 13, Anderson 3.
That's the hat trick for Scott Dickey. Southlake now up 10 with 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Connor Harriman wins the ball forward. Not sure why they blew that dead. Connor Harriman carries the ball down the alley. They switch out. Uh-oh. Bryce Wasserman now has a short stick. I don't know if that's a good idea. There's Connor Harriman down here on the wing. Beats his man topside. Looks again underneath. Bounces. Moves the ball. They're just taking runs at Wasserman now. Wasserman throws it at the stick of Casey Root. Makes a save.
Bryce Washington. Good shot for Southlake. Saved by Casey Root.
And now Anderson looks to enjoy possession. We got some new defensive faces here in the game for Southlake. Milliken still up to the task. Milliken over to Dickey. Dickey's going to be able to corral this one.
Saved by Luke Milligan.
Yeah, new faces in the game here for Southlake at close defense. We'll tell you who they are here in just a second. Scott Dickey with another one.
Southlake goal. Number 3, Scott Dickey. Unassisted. That comes with 1:55 left in the third. Your score now.
1:55 left in the third. Southlake up 14-3. Southlake clicking on all cylinders. They got to start to be feeling pretty good about this as they get ready to head into the next stage of action. And there they go. They just took out their starting attack unit.
Rodriguez.
Tons of new faces in the game now. 1:55 left here in the third quarter.
Rodriguez with space off.
Now we'll see if Anderson can get some stuff done. Number 44, Victor Simpson, freshman, in the game for Southlake. Number 19, Michael Tsay for Southlake. Those are both freshmen.
Enrique on the shot for Anderson.
Who's the last defenseman? Number 54, George Elmquist. So this is an entire freshman defensive unit here in the game. All freshmen. Foster Allen looks inside to Murphy Wood. Nothing. All three defensemen and the goalie, all freshmen. Number 27, Brody Donnell. He's a sophomore, getting some quality minutes here in a important game. 14-3, Southlake up. They slide. Now they need to look to recover. Ball's thrown down on the ground. Michael Cox playing defense. Force inside. Shot. Milliken chases. 49 seconds left here in the third quarter. Milliken carries the ball up. Flag down. Here's A.J. Vandendysel. Little shimmy. Anderson went offsides. Still have a ground ball here. It's going to be a man up group. Nope. We're going to leave the guys on the field.
Offside. Second foul, 30 seconds.
Offsides call. 7 seconds left here in the third quarter. Southlake going to just be happy to hold on to it and retain possession starting the fourth quarter. Southlake up 14-3. Take a 2-minute break, and we'll be right back. We're back. Shortened, an abbreviated break. Oh, Harriman from downtown. That's 15 yards. Harriman from Wasserman.
Assisted by number 9, Bryce Wasserman.
Anderson did not take the full time on that. 15-3 now. Southlake up here. Super regional action for a meeting with the Woodlands. Our first game saw Kingwood defeat Bowie 13-10. A game that Kingwood had in hand, but Bowie definitely hung around. This game, Anderson's had a tough time with an explosive Southlake group. Rinky's been pretty much the only offensive spot for Anderson, making plays, the senior. Oh, nice little play there by Murphy Wood. Murphy Wood now going to look to distribute. Southlake looks to apply pressure now here on defense. The Woodlands has seen everything they've needed to see in this game. Woodlands will be playing Southlake here for a second time this season. Oh, nice little dangle. there by Murphy Wood. Little toe drag, caught it,
Murphy Wood.
dragged it, got to the next level. Just needed to finish now.
Maintain position.
Yeah, it looks like there's a flag on the field.
2 unnecessary, 1 minute.
2 for unnecessary. That was 2 unnecessary.
Southlake's Kenny Lear.
That was unnecessary. 15-3, Southlake up on Anderson. 10:26. This man down brought to you by me. Man up, man down. See what happens here. Bryce Roberts carries, moves it. Southlake rotates, slow on the rotation. Second shot that old Foster Allen has had this game. Not able to bury it.
Foster Allen on the shot for Anderson.
Foster Allen, quality lefty. Just not getting a whole lot going on. Luke Milliken at this point, the freshman, still competing.
Luke Milliken with the ground ball.
They move the ball to DeBello. DeBello carries. .9:37 left here in the fourth quarter. Southlake up 15-3. Wasserman doing a good job today. Tons of points for the Wassermans. Wasserman moves the ball through X to Barnhart. Barnhart over to Casey Wasserman. Casey Wasserman back to Barnhart. Barnhart back to Casey Wasserman. To Vanden Dysel down the alley. Bounces, moves the ball through X. Box fake. I like everything that just happened there. Barnhart dodges hard. Looks to turn the corner.
Yeah, Barnhart on the shot for Southlake.
DeBello dodging down the alley. Punched, looks to spill. Does spill. Moves the ball over there to number 45. Cooper Green. Vanden Diesel winds up. Over to Washman. Nice little hitch and go there. Nice take. That's another freshman on the field. Tons of freshmen on the field. Tons of young players on the field getting quality experience here for Southlake. The freshman grade last year for Southlake, that squad made it all the way to the 8th grade championship. Played at Highland Park, dropped that game. But there has been a tendency, or a precedent, as we like to call it. There's Foster Allen finally getting one.
Anderson goal. Made by number 14, Foster Allen.
Foster Allen finally gets one. Makes it 15-4. 8:05 left here in the fourth quarter. There's been a precedent of if you win the 8th grade championship game, then, especially in the North District, 8th grade North District championship game, you have a good shot of making it to the state championship. Now, who won the 8th grade state champion or the 8th grade championship 4 years ago in the North District? Anybody have any guesses? Well, it was St. Mark's playing the Dallas Deuces. So Jesuit, their feeder program, the Dallas Deuces, they made it. Chances are Jesuit could have an opportunity. We'll see. They got to get past Kingwood tomorrow, and then on their side of the bracket, they'll be playing. That's going to be a push in the back. Nope. Then the other side of the bracket will be whoever wins between Woodlands and Southlake. That's who will play Jesuit. But Jesuit right now, by all guesstimation, is the number one team in the state after beating ESD in the last game of the regular season. Lots of young guys in the game right now for Southlake. See if they're able to execute some offense. Here's Harriman dodging down the alley. Draws a slide. Moves the ball with purpose to Michael Cox.
Southlake turnover.
Dispossessed.
Anderson turnover.
Anderson, however, turns the ball over again in the clear. And now Southlake looks to possess again. Let's talk about the games that we'll see tomorrow. We've got Highland Park taking on Westlake in one of the so what is that? That's the quarterfinals. State quarterfinals. Westlake versus Highland Park. That's a good idea. Then there's going to be ESD playing Strake. And then up here, you'll have Jesuit playing Kingwood. And then finally, you'll have Southlake playing the Woodlands. For Westlake and Highland Park. Highland Park obviously has a talented midfield group. They're pretty talented top to bottom. Defensively, they're a solid squad. Here's Trey Foster trying to get to the middle. Carries lefty. Penalty on the field.
3-3-1 / 1 minute.
1 minute penalty. We'll see Highland Park playing Westlake. Highland Park, obviously, really, really strong midfield group. Kevin Ken.
Man up.
Their junior line of Kevin Ken, Hugo Reisenbichler, and Carter McDade is unbelievably strong. I think that's somebody that we didn't see on the All-Star ballot, old Kevin Ken.
Shot for Anderson.
Kid is definitely really, really good. Defensively, Highland Park just had a crucial injury to their junior long stick midi, Case Carpenter. He'll be sidelined for a while. But they have tons of depth over there. Westlake, number 1 team out of the Central. That's a good look right there. Trey Foster finally gets on, or Foster Allen, excuse me. Foster Allen gets on the board with an assist from Chris Oliver.
Number 14, Foster Allen. Assist by number 44, Chris Oliver. 5:16 left in the fourth.
5:16 left in the fourth. 15-5. Southlake still up on Anderson. Austin Westlake, talented group out of Austin, number 1 seed, getting the bye. Good offensive group, led by Rule Ellis at the midfield. Quality attackmen. Quality mids. Going to look to slow down the Scots from getting to another Final Four. I know that they've at least, the last year they did not get there was when Capel won it. I believe that was in 2010. They've made it to the Final Four every other year. Last year, here's Rinky. Oh, that's going to skate. Last year, they lost to the eventual state champ, St. Mark's, who had their number. And then, oh, there's a good double. Throw the double at the, just throw a double out there. How'd that ball get on the field? Here's Rinky again, dodging down the alley. Highland Park last year lost to St. Mark's, the eventual champ. Year before that, they won it on the revenge train. They had probably more losses. They lost to Southlake that year, but they had more losses than they've had in a long time. But they were actually able to come back and defeat a ton of teams that they had lost to during the regular season, thus the revenge train. What's a goal there for Anderson? Blake Taylor. So they've been getting back to the state championship for a while. They'll have to play a quality Chaps team who gets to sleep in their own bed. So never count them out. ESD will be playing Strake Jesuit, the number 2 seed out of the South. ESD only in-state loss was to Jesuit. That'll be an interesting game. Strake is an older squad, very talented, very athletic, very senior-based group. ESD looking to get back to the state championship after dropping the championship in the first ever overtime meeting, an instant classic that we were able to get our live stream. That was our first introduction into the play-by-play, and we had such a good time that we just decided that it's important to start doing it. ESD is going to be tough, though, in that matchup. They're on a mission, so we'll see if they're able to execute. Here's Dean DeBello dodging down the alley. He can get underneath there, pushes the ball through X. They've got him rotating. Should have looked one more. Should have looked at the adjacent guy, drawn that adjacent guy, and gotten a little step down. Here's Ben Rinke with the ball. And then here we'll have Kingwood versus Jesuit and Southlake versus the Woodlands. Southlake and the Woodlands have played before this year. Let's see what the score was for that game.
Saved by Eric Ross.
Not a ton of possession going on right now. 2:23 left in the fourth quarter, 15-6. Southlake's been resting a majority of their players for the fourth quarter. Turnover by Anderson. Failed clear attempt there by Southlake. And then another turnover going back the other way. Southlake lost to the Woodlands 11-6 in the only regular season matchup between the two squads. No, 16-11. Excuse me. Southlake lost 16-11 to the Woodlands the first time they played them down in Houston. The Woodlands have been doing a pretty good job. They had some crucial wins against Westlake and Highland Park to continue to give them some momentum. They beat Strake Jesuit 18-10 here just recently to solidify the number 1 seed. Here's Murphy Wood.
Anderson goal. Number 23, Murphy Wood. Assist by number 14, Foster Allen.
Murphy Wood with the goal. Assist Foster Allen. 15-7. Southlake up. They've been leading from start to finish here.
Face off.
And then Jesuit's going to be taking on Kingwood. Jesuit, the number 1 team in the state. They're tough right now. They're going to give Kingwood everything they can handle. Only possible Foster Allen with 1:14 left.
Anderson goal. Number 14, Foster Allen. Assist by 42, Rodrigo Rodriguez. 114.
15-8 now.
Now Southlake 15. Anderson 8.
Still going to be tough. I don't think I've ever seen somebody score 7 goals in a minute and 14 seconds. Connor Harriman put back in the game to win a face-off, hopefully. Ooh. Sneaky little ref. Oh, give me that. Nice little double. Nice little spill look there, though. To Murphy Wood. One more up. Nice play by the goalie. Goalie's like, man, I am tired of getting scored on. I will go in. I'm going to just come and hit you.
Anderson turnover.
Nice play, though, by the keeper. Moves the ball across. They move the ball up. Ooh. Defenseman. Head up. Oh, nice job running through the check. Needed to just keep moving those feet. Turn the corner. Run right through the check. He had it. Here's Anderson trying to clear it. They just whip it down. 25 seconds left. Whack. Give me that. Ground ball scrum. Ben Rinke, senior. Michael Tsay moves the ball up. 13 seconds left. Michael Tsai. Spill it. Oh, no. 5 seconds left. 15-8. Southlake's going to take this one. THSLL, Super Regional Coverage. Survive and advance. Winner, winner. Dragon dinner. Southlake's going to play the Woodlands tomorrow. Our coverage is at 1 and 3 tomorrow. Kingwood versus... It's going to be Kingwood versus Jesuit at 3 o'clock. Our first game is going to be the Woodlands versus Southlake. Quick turnaround for these Dragons. They're going to need to get an ice bath, refresh themselves, and then be ready to compete tomorrow. Westlake Highland Park, Strake Jesuit ESD. All of these games are for a chance to make it to the state championship next weekend in Friendswood, little place we like to call Friendswood. We'll be there bringing you live coverage of the state championship, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're going to have some good games tomorrow. See if Kingwood can match up with the number 1 team in the state. It won't be easy, but that's why you go and play the game. And then we'll see what Southlake can do against a Woodlands team, the number 1 seed out of the South. Southlake lost the only regular season matchup between those teams, 16-11. High-scoring game. As always, we appreciate all of you out there watching, paying attention. Don't be scared to retweet, get the word out. We're trying to increase exposure. We're going to be doing it, so we hope you'll join us, increase the exposure of our sport in the state and all of the tremendous players playing it. Anthony Crimmins here with Stickstar Productions. We will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock.